the greater the sacrifice, the greater work we put in, man, the greater the results, But if anything, hopefully today's discussion told you like, hey, we don't just have to start out at level 1 and focus on level 4. We do always, but when and how long do you stay there? Or can you grow and in your tattoo career start out at level 5 or 6 and go to 10, right? It's possible, but it's not in skipping any level. Brothers and sisters, we can't thank you enough for all your love, your support, and your faithfulness. It's been brought to my attention, if you really want to do something to bless us, to thank us, apparently simply hitting the like button on YouTube would be more impactful than what I ever knew, let alone subscribing to us on YouTube if you're not already. And then over on Spotify and Apple, please leave us a review. All of your listening and your comments to us mean the world to us. And do us a favor and just hit like on YouTube and leave us reviews on Spotify and Apple. And we're going to continue to serve you with our whole heart. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, welcome back once again to the Tattoo Guardians podcast. Today is an extra fun show, and it's going to be just a real quick and poignant one for you guys today in your listening. It comes up a lot, and people just ask, do you see these days more people coming out of the woodwork, almost like beginner tattooers that are just like starting off, seems to be levels above how I started or others started, or maybe how you started? And what's going on? What makes the difference between an apprentice coming out a certain way, the way most of us apprentices come out, and it takes a certain amount of time, a while to master the basics, which we're always, by the way, mastering the basics. Me and Joshua Carlton are still mastering the basics. But I think you guys know what I'm getting at. Why does it seem like some people just come out swinging heavy? And that's kind of what we wanted to uncover today. You boys all right with that?
Yeah, I see it. I see it so much. And this is actually a really smart topic to talk about. It's something that's been on my mind for sure, because I'll stumble upon somebody who's just like mind-blowingly good and been tattooing like a year, Yeah. And it's just like, what the fuck's even going on? Because after tattooing for so long, I'm very used to this is what a beginner's tattooing looks like. Because even if you're going to be really good, we all start out crawling, right?
My God.
And so to see some of these things, I think a great example, obviously, is Mike. Mike is a great example. I'm proud to say I think a great example is my wife, Nikki. These are two, kind of the first that come to mind right off the top of my head that I'd say, like you said, came out swinging. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, what is different? What's in this tattoo water today?
Well, and it's funny you bring up Mike, because I don't know if you guys have noticed in a comment in recent episodes on the YouTube, and Mike, I don't know if you saw it, someone commented requesting the next artist you guys should interview should be Mike Srnoyachki.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you saw it, Josh? Did you see that, Mike?
No,
you didn't see it. My God. And I was thinking, that's funny. They're sweet. Wonder why he said the next artist. I'm thinking, well, Mike, he's only been tattooing 3 weeks. No, how long have you been tattooing?
About almost 2 months.
Okay, so like 6 or 7 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, time flies. Boy, he's on week 7 of his tattoo career, ladies and gentlemen. And they want him interviewed already.
He's thinking about retiring. His books are closed.
From apprenticeship to Guardians host.
Right, yeah. He's got his own podcast. It's called Tattoo Guardianer. Now with more Guardian.
How to become a tattooer in 6 weeks.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh my gosh. And so you're right. And so today, I think I even want to show you guys some of Mike's beginner pieces. Which one? Any of them. They're all beginner pieces. He's only 6 weeks in.
Right.
But do they look beginner? We'll leave that up to you. But for starters, let's just give him a taste right now, Mike. Mike, do you mind throwing up on the screen session 1 of the red rose you did. So Josh, I think I sent you just a red rose. At session 1, you can see purple, the leaves of the purple stencil that he's saving for session 2.
And what's interesting about it is not only is it like incredibly well done, it's like, it's a really hard spot, you know, on the shoulder like that. That's a tough spot. It's easy to blow out. It's easy to chew up. Look at the saturation, you know.
Right. Yeah. Even the placement is fun. I remember I was there. I got to be with him, and we talked about size and placement and using the bony part of the shoulder. That's kind of where he placed the center, using part of the body to even give more depth and lift.
Yeah, you know, that's really smart.
For this camera angle, you can't really tell it. A lot of times people on their shoulders have a knobby shoulder. And if you're and that's why we'll use that to our advantage, just to pop something out even more. If that camera was to pan to the left to start to go towards her back, you would see it. Right. Mike, roughly, do you remember which tattoo was this of yours? Was it your 4th or 5th? Or
I believe it was my 10th.
Your 10th. Very cool. Again, just coming out the gate swinging. Josh, you and I both know tattooers that have been tattooing for a few years that still aren't doing this.
Absolutely.
For some reason.
This is, you know, this reminds me of, like, I've been tattooing long enough to remember when nobody really tattooed like this, that the saturation was not even close to this, you know. Right. And so when artists started coming out, you know, when the Nico Hurtados and the, you know, Kyle Cotterman started coming out and doing this kind of look, it was just mind-blowing because it was just so different. And, you know, they raised the bar. You know, I always say we're standing on the shoulders of giants. So, you know, Mike, well, he has to stand on the shoulders of giants because he's like 2 feet tall. But I'm not even sure how he got up to the shoulder. But anyway, this is the type of thing, though, that is very impressive to see from such a new artist, you know. Yes. And you have to be careful with stuff like this because a lot of old school tattooers will say, like, yeah, but can he outline, right?
Right.
You know, that's the thing with Nikki too. It's like, yeah, you want to be able to do this beautiful shading and everything, but can you pull a line? And I think that it's safe to say that from what I've seen, Mike can also pull a nice clean line. You know, we'll get into that a little bit later.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, and just to show already his versatility, because you know, and Mike's leaning towards he wants to be a realism artist, and you know, fully saturating that rose is one thing, but he's not limited to, because if you see, he's got an illustrative piece here. You know, it's the one you did, Mike, with the backpack and the camera and the Polaroid, just the travel piece, right?
Yeah.
But that's, you know, more illustrative.
Well, you got a circle in there too with the globe, you know.
Yeah. Which tattoo is this, Mike?
I believe that was like maybe my.
It says number 5. It says number 5 on the.
Okay, great. And that also was a client that came to you and just, you know, you designed this tattoo.
Yep.
Yourself as well, right?
Yeah.
Which is beautiful. And what were some of the basic things they asked you for?
She really liked hiking and traveling. So kind of some stuff to incorporate that to her.
Love it. Love it. And then we see the, you know, the watercolor and geometric shapes you did. So there's, you know, line work in there with loose, just showing your versatility. But then, you know, the circle. Recent black and gray piece that you rocked out of the mouse, you know? So already Mike's 6 weekends into tattooing, and we just showed you he's versatile in multiple styles and is the designer of each of his pieces. On this black and gray one, when did you do it, Mike?
Which black and gray?
I'm sorry, with the mouse and the spool.
I did that last Saturday.
Right on. Fun.
And this is a huge honor, guys. Like, thank you. I didn't know you guys were doing this today. And, yeah, I mean, it's already a huge honor. Both of you guys are mentors to me, and it means a lot to hear this stuff from you guys. So thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You probably thought we were here to throw you under the bus, huh?
Yeah, I don't know.
We did want to surprise you today. And and one, to honor you, but to really have this discussion, because so many people might think, if you're good, there's got to be some luck to it, some reason. God just made you talented. Well, yes, you are talented. You know what I'm saying? But there's something more too. There's something else going on here. But Mike, what do you think it is? Why do you think you're coming out the gate and already pulling off pieces like this when you have witnessed other people with their own eyes not do so? What do you think has attested? What do you think? I'm trying to find the right question. Has empowered you so much in your apprenticeship to come out the gate swinging like this?
Yeah, that's super funny. I was actually just kind of naturally came up before we started recording when I was talking to Josh about this. Is I mean, out of any apprentice that I've been able to work with, I feel like I had the opportunity to watch for longer, which, for a lot of it, I didn't know what I was watching. I'd ask the basic questions: what needle are you using?
Right.
What color is that?
Right.
What? How fast you running your machine? Which I've asked those questions 1,000 times because I didn't retain them, because I didn't know what really it meant. But I still just asked what I could. But also, I feel like the bigger thing is like Aisle 9 has been filled with a bunch of badasses.
Yeah.
So I got to see what was possible.
Yeah.
Over a long period of time.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is more valuable than anything. Because in my head, when I'm doing a tattoo, I'm like, I told Josh, and like maybe it's a hokey way of saying it, but I feel like I'm almost like channeling different people I watched, like Zach, you, Hip, Chris Powell. Like I feel something. Like and that maybe that's like a too of a majestic way of saying it or whatever.
I think
like,
it's fucking beautiful.
I think it's a great way to look at it. I was telling him earlier, it's like tattooing by osmosis, which generally you're told doesn't happen, but I can kind of see how he's channeling these people, because Mike's the kind of person, he has the motor that we've talked about in the past. You have to have this motor, right? People will be too lazy or too tired to sit and watch for more than, a few minutes at a time. Do you remember when I came out to your shop and I tattooed Hip? My old apprentice who had been tattooing for many years sat there and watched me for the entire time. He was still an empty cup, even though he's got, 8-10 years under his belt. He was still my apprentice.
I was watching with him. Yeah.
Me too.
And I do the same thing.
I wasn't even an apprentice yet.
Man.
When I go to conventions and stuff, I'm the same thing. I walk around and find people that I admire. A lot of times there's new discoveries, and I'm just like, hey, I'd love to sit and watch. Do you mind? And I'm absorbing as much as possible because I want to always grow. So I think Mike's a good example. He's got that motor. Obviously, he has incredible mentors. You know what I mean? Obviously, he has you as his main teacher, this, master tattooer. So is Mike privileged in that way? Yes. Is it impossible for other people to get something similar? Absolutely not. There's a lot of really, really solid tattooers out there, but you've got to be hungry, right?
Yeah. And just for all our listeners, in case you think, especially what Josh just said, you may have created a picture in your mind that I've taken all this time out with Mike and I've shown him all the ins and outs of tattooing and how to apply it. And just to let you know, I haven't done any of that with Mike. Now, I've been training Mike and preparing him to be the greatest tattooer in the world for years. But my training with him has had very little to do on the technical side of tattooing, even though you can tell that technically he's been trained and is figuring some shit out, right? He's in the water. His tattoo training began 6 weeks ago, like in the actual, when he's actually got in the fucking water. Up till that, you can watch people in the water, and that's what he's saying. He knew how to watch. He knew how to listen. Instead of just falling into the trap of just biding his time. So many apprentices are just biting their time. Hey, when's my apprenticeship up?
Yeah, and I've heard that so many times.
You're missing it. So many people just want to wait. So I just want to start tattooing. And you can start out at whatever level you think. But you could start out at a much higher level. And it's really what you do before you start tattooing that I think that dictates a lot of that. And Mike had the fortitude to be a student for, like you said, for years, right? Because we brought him in. He was our videographer. Then he became HIP's assistant. Then he became the Guardians podcast producer. Then he Andy helped me with TBM. Then he wanted to tattoo, and that's when we were like, "Fuck you," you know. What I'm saying?
Right.
Like, but here we are. But how many years before I let you apprentice did you watch? 4, maybe?
I mean,
3?
I think a good 3.
3? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike, did you, before you came to Aisle 9 at all, did you even realize that tattoos could look like the rose that you tattooed? You know, you don't see that walking around too often, right? When you're grocery shopping, you see a lot of shitty tattoos. At least here you do. Did you even know that was a possibility?
Not color tattoos. I'd seen some pretty cool black and gray tattoos come out of Truth and Triumph. And that's where I got my first tattoo. But yeah, I didn't even know stuff like that existed.
Yeah, a lot of people are like that. I've noticed that as someone will bring somebody to come and like hang out with them to get tattooed, and they're just like completely unaware that what we're doing at our studio is even possible, which I really love. I love that. I love taking somebody who will be like, well, I don't even like tattoos, but this is art. I've always kind of hated tattoos, but this is so beautiful. Yeah, I kind of love re-educating people like that. So it's great to have these newer artists like Mike, like Nicole, that are coming into the picture to carry the torch, you know?
My God. And like, I think you nailed it when you said, you know, other people didn't realize till they encounter you guys, what's even possible? I didn't know it was possible to do this type of shit. And kind of the question you asked Mike, but I think a main answer Mike nailed what you just said, Josh, is when he came and watched and saw what was possible in his growing, it caused him from a mental state to start out on a higher level mentally, because that's who he's surrounded by. It became normalized. Instead of him being an apprentice looking like, oh my God, I'll never be able to do that. He went from that to being around it enough to where it started to become normal. Like, okay, maybe I could. Hey, I think I want to try this. And then by the time going into it, he's just going to start out with that.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. Those who you surround yourself with. This is such a good example of how important that is. Absolutely.
Mike, is there something else coming up for you that you wanted to add to it? Like, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, which doesn't make it any less fucking nerve-wracking. I think I've been terrified of every tattoo that I've done so far.
Absolutely. This isn't a conversation about, oh, he figured it out. This is just a conversation about, my God, how's he already got looks like he already got his diapers off and he was only born 6 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And the thing is too, and I'm sure that they've told you this, Mike, but if not, I'll be the first to tell you, you are absolutely going to fuck up. It's 100% going to happen. You know what I mean? But you're going to learn from that. And that could be in the sense of like, you know, a bad heel, you know, because you overworked an area, misunderstanding a client, but you know, I'm sure you're aware of that, right?
Yeah, and I have.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure you fucked up every tattoo you've done, or at a certain spot.
At a certain level.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
we all do.
I've received a bunch of compliments on my work, which is like super awesome. Yeah. But also I know everything about them that other people don't, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
And
if you're
I'm understanding like the imposter syndrome a lot more intimately now, I guess. Because people can say it's awesome, you know, day in and day out, but I still don't.
Right. I
still know how it could have been better, and I'm sure that I don't know how it could have been better as well.
Yeah, right. Dude, save that for week 8.
Right. It's exciting to watch, though. It's been really exciting to watch you grow, to watch it unfold. You know, it's neat to kind of be scrolling through Instagram and be like, wow, look at that. Look at Mike.
Other than seeing what was possible for you, what do you think is attributed to you just being able to come out the gate strong? Like even have the audacity to be like, yeah, I'm gonna do a full color rose. I know it's only my 10th tattoo. Let's run it, right? What do you think? And maybe some of this would be hard for you because it may be like asking a fish why they're wet. And they might be like, what? It's just right. But if you could think, what else do you think is a test to you coming out strong, even with the audacity to like even attempt such a thing, or
Man, honestly, you're such a great mentor. You've never limited me on like you'll give me advice and some warnings like, all right, hey, like maybe you'll run into this and this. And sometimes I'm like, okay, maybe I should knock it down a notch. But sometimes you're never like, hey, don't fucking do that. You're not allowed.
Right.
Sometimes I'm just like, fuck it. I'm going to do it and see what happens. Because I feel like that's how I've always been. And I understand what you're talking about for sure.
Hey, Josh, like it was just like a few weeks ago. So maybe week 4, he brings me a full color Aussie portrait with sweat and his hair sweaty and beads of sweat. Like it would take me and Steve Butcher all day to fucking maybe pull that piece off. You know what I'm saying?
And he's like, what do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think, boss?
Pretty much. And I'm like, oh, like, damn, dude. Like,
but Matt, it's so cool.
I mean, I know you just got out of basketball camp and you're asking to go to the NBA, but fuck, dude. And, anything's possible, but damn. But you're right, because clarity comes in the doing. Now, I'm not going to let them fall, but man, we're going to push it, and if we do, I'm not going to let them fall to their death, but but I feel like, a way we've brought somebody up, and I understand about bringing people through the process to keep the respect on it and honor. There's a part of paying your dues, earning it, all of that. And Mike will tell you, we don't bypass any of that, right?
Honestly, which sorry to interrupt,
no, go ahead.
But like, that I feel like the most valuable part of my apprenticeship is like the way you taught me to be, which is like, and not to say that I hadn't already had a little bit of this in me anyway as well, but like being an apprentice, like just trying to practice humility and being of service to the people around me, building the relationships with people around me.
Yes.
So they actually want to teach me something. Like maybe sometimes I don't have to ask. They just offer like, hey, do this. The other day, Alexis kind of just stood by me and helped. Like, and she wasn't sure if she was helping me or not, but she was helping me like a ton. Even just saying little things like press a little bit harder. Don't go as fast. Go slower. Like little tiny things like that make the biggest difference in the world. But if I hadn't, taken time to break her down and she didn't ask me to, or like all these things, like build that relationship with Alexis.
Yeah.
Who knows if she would have even wanted to do that?
Right. Yeah, brother. So beautiful.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of it's an attitude thing.
A lot of it's an attitude thing. My God, it is.
And that's it right there. Yep.
Knew that in your apprenticeship. Because, this apprenticeship wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. We had a couple porch talks, right? And it wasn't even me checking his attitude. It was waking him up because he started to fall into a false identity under the umbrella of discouragement, right? It happens to all of us, especially apprentices. And we had to talk to him like, wake up. No, like you're not in a waiting room. You know what I'm saying? There's so much you could be doing. You know what I'm saying? Creating, designing, shadowing, like get ready. And part of that was maybe me being unclear on what to be doing in this moment. But we had the talks, but it always came back to an attitude. Right. Man, that's so awesome. But yeah, brother, and speaking of, so Mike, props to you. Shout out to you. We love you. And is it okay if there are any apprentices listening right now, if they reach out to you?
Fuck yeah. I'd be honored. Yeah. Definitely.
Very cool. Very cool. We'll see. Mike gets 30,000 apprentices.
I know, right? Yeah, be careful with that.
But speaking of another complete badass that just hit the world by storm seemingly on day one is Nicole Carlton.
Fuck
Yeah, it's been really interesting because we've been together for 22 years. And as I mentioned in the podcast before, she's very oftentimes, sat beside me while I tattooed for years. And I used to always say, like, you seem so interested in this. And she was such a lover of art. And she really seemed to understand tattoo. She even became a tattoo snob. I'd be like, look at this tattoo. And she'd be like, I don't know, it needs more black. And I was like, man, you're such a stuck-up tattoo snob, And I was like, maybe you should think about tattooing. And she was like, I think about it, but I just don't know. And she was raising a family as well, So we talked a little bit about it, and here and there over the years. And then when I got sick, sometimes you have to deal with scary things, and you have to prepare for the what ifs, and what if I'm not going to make it? And she's like, what am I going to do? If Josh isn't, working and bringing home the money, so she decided to go to learn how to do permanent cosmetics. Great mentor, Aaron Smith, taught her how to do permanent cosmetics. Aaron's incredible at it, so I was super excited that she was learning by somebody so good. And Nikki picked it up pretty naturally. So I was like, man, it's so funny because, you didn't want a tattoo because you were like afraid, right? She was nervous because it was forever. And I'm like, and you chose to go fucking tattoo someone's face, like of all things, and the kind of women that want their makeup done, they're extra picky, right? So,
yeah,
but she did so well with it that I was like, I kind of still kept encouraging her. I didn't want to push her, but I asked her, would you want to do like maybe traditional tattoos? Like, maybe we can see if we can fly out, and maybe Mike Chambers can help you out, like get you the best, right? And she was really interested in that. She loves a good traditional tattoo. And one day she was just like, I want to do realism. And I was like, what? It just shocked me because she wasn't even drawing or anything yet. She told me she had drawn like in high school, but I never really saw anything.
Damn.
So she didn't have sketchbooks or anything. So I said, well, you need to start drawing first. First and foremost, you've got to be able to draw. You have to understand how the fundamentals work,
Mm-hmm.
And so she started drawing, and she actually, for Christmas, she drew a picture of my father. My father always dressed up as Santa Claus on Christmas and would go to the mall. He was the Santa at the mall. And so she drew this picture of him as Santa, and it was mind blowing. I'll make sure to give it to you guys so you can pop it up right here, actually. And so this picture of Santa Claus was the first thing I ever saw her draw, and it was really incredible, as you guys can see now. And so I was like, you have to tattoo. You have to tattoo, and she was like, I'm ready. I want to do it. And I said, let's start slowly, but kind of see where you're at. And so I have included a couple of pictures here. So if you look at there's a small skull on an ankle, if you want to bring that up.
Yeah, dude.
That's the very first tattoo that she really did. She messed around with a couple of very basic like roses and stuff here and there, like years ago when she was first learning cosmetics even. But like an actual like black and gray realism, that's her very first tattoo, was that skull.
Jeez.
And so I was like, wow, okay, this definitely doesn't suck. Like, and she was even like, because she's so hard on herself, she was like, whoa, maybe I can do this,
Well, not only she got values in there in the right spots, but she's got texture in there and shit.
Yeah. She kind of softened the top of the head. She kind of still lost edges there.
Man.
So I was like, okay, was that a fluke, And if you go to, there's an eye that's on a forearm that's above a skull that I'm working on. That's her third tattoo she's ever done, that black and gray.
Jeez.
And my skull that I'm working on is below it, and I was like, holy shit, this kind of looks like maybe I did it,
I know it.
And it was like, I'm happy for her, but at the same time, I'm like, you better slow down, you better fucking watch it,
Man.
Joking, but I was like, okay, so that eye wasn't, or that skull wasn't a fluke,
Right.
And so she jumped in really, really good, and she studied really hard. So if you can see too, there's another picture of the same eye as a charcoal.
Yeah.
And the reason I included that is because I told her, I said, I want you to draw to completion every tattoo that you do, so you can understand what's going on. You can understand what's tattooable. And so, other than drawing like the picture of my dad, she hadn't really drawn much. So this is the sketch of that same eye tattoo. And that seemed to really, really help her, right? She didn't just make a stencil. She had to draw it. She could paint it or she could draw it. She usually chose charcoal, and it really, really helped her. It really, really planted the seed of how she's going to approach it.
So good, man.
So like you can see, like from drawing, like not to turn this into just about painting and stuff, but like there's a painting that she recently posted on Instagram. It's a man holding an instrument.
Yeah.
It's an oil painting. It looks kind of a very Caravaggio style, because this is her first color oil painting. So it's because of her obsessiveness with being the best she can be. I'm really proud of her. Like for her first painting, wow,
No kidding,
like
dude.
color painting. Yeah.
Dude.
So it's been really neat to watch because I've watched her confidence grow because there's no confidence. There's like low confidence, low self-esteem, and no self-esteem. And as amazing as my wife is, she just has like no self-esteem, no confidence. And I've been watching her like light up a little bit. Like tattooing has given her this light, and it's really, really beautiful to see.
So impressive.
I'm really stoked for her. I wanted her, it was really important to me, like I mentioned with Mike, it's like, okay, even if you're doing the best portraits someday, I do want you to understand the fundamentals. I want you to be able to do, clean tattoos as well, even if you don't do them.
Right.
I want you to understand. So I did include, she just tattooed my niece, and she did this little kind of an ornamental piece on her hand as a black and white picture.
Yeah, dude, that's dope.
It's a lot of circles, you know what I mean? And that's
especially across the knuckles. And
placement wise, she designed it herself. And I was really, really happy with how she, because I was like, man, it would suck if you just couldn't line at all. You know what I mean? Amazing at shading, but you just can't line. So I was really, really proud of that for her too. And that really made her light up as well. She was like, okay, so because she's only been tattooing, I guess it's been close to a year now, but I mean, most of the stuff I'm showing you is in the first couple of months, like Mike, except for the hand one I just showed you. And then if you look at this progress, this pair that she's working on, this is her newest piece. And like, look how it's like coming out of the dark, and you can just see that she's got the artist brain,
Yes, dude. And I even love that half sleeve she's got rocking with a hawk or eagle.
With the hawk, yeah.
Yeah.
But she, it's just like with Mike too. She's just really, really good at listening and watching and really paying attention and asking the right question, not just asking questions like Mike said, what needle, this and that, like why that needle? Why is it giving you this effect? How can I achieve this effect? Is it smarter for me to do this or to do that? And so now she sits in with me. She's my co-host on when I teach my Everything I Know course, she sits next to me because she can approach it from a different perspective, because I get real geeked out on tattooing and I'll start like over explaining, or I'll just assume everybody gets it. So she'll be like, well, what Josh is really saying is to do this. And so she can kind of like simplify it in terms that make sense to other people that maybe, don't, I don't want to say it comes natural. Maybe it's just my experience, right? My 33 years of experience. To me, it's like, oh, this is easy now. Not tattooing, but just parts of it, right?
Well, dude, look, and I'm looking at this hawk's head, and obviously your influence is on every one of these fucking tattoos. Of course, she's been by your side 28 years. And I'm seeing like, so if we kind of zoom in on the hawk's face, and in the texture of the feathers and stuff, there's specific parts where it's still dark, right? And but like when you tattoo, and it looks like she did too, basically wherever the texture is in these feathers and they need to be black or darker than the rest of the values, usually I'm a guy, I'll lay it out and then I'll go back and add the darks to bring it. But there's some artists that just grow a fucking pair out the gate and put the darks in the first time there and move on, but can then go back to the lights as they go. And you seem to do that well. And it looks like she was able to do that.
Yes. And that's such a scary approach to tattooing. I used to tattoo just like you. We come from the same school of tattooing, Matt. I know we talked about that. Yeah. And that's what it was, right? We would sketch it in and build it up. And you feel like such an artist doing that. And there's such a beauty to that style of tattooing. But at some point, I just, like you said, I just kind of ballsed up and was like, if it's going to be black, make it as black as you can possibly make it. So I really, really instilled that in her. And it's so funny because the same woman who was like, it needs more black, now when she knows it, but she's like, but I'm kind of scared.
Oh, man. Yeah.
It's like, I'm still scared too after all these years. It's like, but it works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's impressive. Like the dark underneath, the mouth. And just etched in there. It's as if on her stencil, she went in there and made that black. And then even with, in the mouth. And then it's just some of the textures under the eye and above the eye, but the rest is soft values. But yeah, I can tell, man, she hit it the first time. And I've always been impressed with y'all that can do that. Number one, you finish your tattoo before I do. But man, it's just impressive when I see anyone doing that, especially a beginner.
Yeah.
It's real cool.
It's just like with Mike, it's been like really cool to watch it unfold, you know? So what I found that is if I'm sitting right next to her, if I can be there for every moment of it, she can really hit it. If she's left completely alone, she'll get a little bit in her head still, right? I'll walk in and check on her and she'll be struggling with something. And I'm like, remember I showed you this? And she's like, oh yeah. She'll just get caught up in this loop of like, she knows what to do, but she forgets, you know what I mean? So I think that's where us being such a good team helps out. You know what I mean? Because I can tell her too, I can be very honest with her about what's wrong, and she'll get hurt, she'll get upset, but she'll get over it because she knows that it's right and she can learn from it.
Well, hopefully,
So,
dude.
One of my biggest questions is always, like last night, I tattooed a portrait of Elvis, and she sat and watched the whole time. And it wasn't like, I didn't ask her, was it good, or how awesome am I? I asked her, did you learn something? And I think that can equate to all aspects of life, right? All of the things that tattoo guardians talk about and we try to, to share with others. Did you learn something?
Man, that's so good. Did she?
She did. And I'm always like, and I don't just let it go. I'm like, well, what did you learn? Like what, and then sometimes she'll have a question for me that I just am like, I can't believe you didn't know that. And I'm like, I have to remember, not everybody receives it until they're ready. Like Mike was asking the wrong questions. He didn't know what he was seeing, right? And now he's ready to receive some of it. And he's going to look back on this episode, and he's going to look back on these same tattoos years from now, and you can't deny the quality, but when he's so much better, he's going to be like, I would have made this decision. I would have made that decision, right?
Yeah. And I'd like to think I helped him with a few of those and saved him before he even fucking put it on him.
And that's the beauty. That's the beauty of, like, a lot of times people think that it's gatekeeping to try to keep people from tattooing out at home because, you can get practice skin and you can do all that. But if you don't have somebody to learn from their mistakes, you're really asking for a lot more trouble, So, I am self-taught. I'm not going to sit here and tell you there's no other way, but man, I would have killed to be in a position like Mike. If you have to move across country, if you're serious, do whatever it takes. Matt, remember your story, you fucking left Arizona, you found the money, you found the way there. You were told no time and time again. You did not take no for an answer.
Right.
And it takes that.
Yeah.
It's not cold calling every shop in the fucking phone book or whatever. Show my age here on the internet, and then, they said no, try today. No, you go down there and you sweep up the fucking floor and you get tattooed and you draw. And then finally one day you might just let them see your drawing, you know what I mean? And then like, hey, why don't you keep on coming in and sweeping?
That's right. What you going to do to change their minds about you?
Yeah.
Love that, man.
Yeah, because I remember when we got Mike as the producer, I was like, is he going to fucking want a tattoo? And you're like, nope.
Nope. We already checked. Here we are. Hot damn, he's tattooing, boys. Oh my goodness. You know, and it's all about, like Mike was saying, attitude, and who do you listen to, who you locking arms with to grow. And yeah, we all start out at level 1, but we can develop ourselves. And even our apprentices, you shop owners, would you like to take your apprentices from level 1 to level 4 out of their apprenticeship? Or would you like to create a way to develop them so when you start out taking them from level 6 to level 10 out of their apprenticeship? It's all about what we create together. And of course, we cover a lot of this in our programs, but it's possible. And yeah, it's just possible. And Mike has not skipped any steps. If anything, he's put more steps in. And the results, you're seeing them now. The greater the sacrifice, the greater work we put in, man, the greater the results, you know. But if anything, hopefully today's discussion told you, like, hey, we don't just have to start out at level 1 and focus on level 4. We do always, but when and how long do you stay there? Or can you grow and in your tattoo career start out at level 5 or 6 and go to 10, right? It's possible, but it's not in skipping any level. That's why who Mike was being during his apprenticeship was so fucking important, you know? And who he's being right now as a tattoo artist is still important. Guys, and it's only been 7 weeks, so he's got so much to learn, as we all do. But at least one of the greatest teachers now is experience. And Mike will tell you, I on purpose don't sit with my artist and handhold them in the beginning, because I don't want them to be reliant upon me knowing that I can't.
Exactly.
And so I'll start them out alone.
Yes. I think that's great. I have the same situation with driving. Like, Nikki is like, okay, you can turn now. And I'm like, oh, I'm not even paying attention because I'm so used to Nikki just telling me when to go and stuff. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm going to fucking drive myself. Like, I need you to not tell me everything, you know? Just pretend you're not in the car, right?
That's right.
So that's absolutely true. So that's a great way to approach it.
But we do have created a great team and culture. And I know that my team helps one another out, and Mike just shared. I did not know Alexis came over and helped him, but yet I did know that goes on in my house, right? And that's fucking beautiful that we do help sharpen one another. It's the old saying, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together, right? And it's absolutely beautiful. Man, people like Nicole Carlton and Mike Srnoyachki are impressive. But it's also, I think you can test this, Josh, how people might be like, man, it must be nice. Like these almost like overnight success. And it's like, no, she's been shadowing, working with you, traveling the world, like immersed in the culture, almost the 30 years you've been in. And you know what I'm saying? All that is like seeds that have been developing in her just to prepare her for this.
Exactly.
You know, and Mike spending years around me and Hip and all these other amazing artists, you know, at least for 3 years before, you know, all of that matters too. But what I'm getting at is they have put in the work for years. This isn't just an overnight deal. Wow, they came out anyone that comes out the gate swinging, you don't know what they've been doing in quiet.
Yeah.
Silence.
Yeah, it must be nice. And it's like, oh, you don't even know the half of it. The hard fucking work, the late nights, the no sleep.
When no one's watching.
Yeah.
When you start to wonder.
And that's when it counts.
Yeah.
That's when it counts. What are you doing when no one's watching?
That's right. Do you just draw to impress your mentor? Do you just take out the trash when you know you're being watched? You know, scripture says if a man prays to be seen, that is his reward. Like versus praying for what you were really asking for. If you're you praying just to look spiritual in front of everyone else, there's your reward. They all think you're spiritual, right? But same with like, what are you doing, you apprentices? And are you doing it just to get recognized? Are you sweeping the floor now because you know someone's watching you? Or what do you do when no one's watching? When you feel like you're not getting the credit? When you mop the floor several times and it didn't seem like anyone noticed? You didn't get a thank you. When you're working on a design, you don't feel like anyone cares and you feel like maybe you ain't got the goods. Now what? Now what do you do, Mike?
Do it again.
Do it again? I'll do it anyways. Woo! Did you ever get discouraged, Mike, in your apprenticeship?
Fuck yeah.
Did you ever feel like some of the hard work and the things you were doing around the shop went unnoticed?
Definitely.
Did you ever feel like there was an out of balance on, like, because he wasn't the only apprentice and there were split duties, but was that ever out of balance? Do you ever feel like you were maybe doing more than other people?
Yeah, for sure.
Did you ever battle resenting other people for not fucking carrying their weight?
Totally.
Totally. Right? So there were opportunities for you just to eat your lunch and you sit there and be pissed and discouraged and like looking at other people, right? And then this is where at some point it's like, oh, fuck, let me check my attitude. How much is any of this serving me, right? And you would have those moments. I know we had a couple talks, but I'm sure you had your own moments. 100 more of them.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Several hundred talks with just myself.
Yes. And I just wanted people to be encouraged today, not thinking like just because you've done the work, you put in the work, you're getting great results, that it was easy or that you didn't face what they're facing, discouragement, resentment of other people, right? But none of that serves you. At the end of the day, you still, when we fall out of our power, the quickest way is to notice and just step right back in and do it again. Even though no one's noticed that I'm the only fucker mopping around here, I'm going to do it again anyways, right? Because there's something bigger to what you want, you know, as if God, source in the universe, is watching, as if you're getting the credit, even though it seems like no man knows. But what a man does in secret, God rewards publicly. You didn't know you were going to be on this show today, did you?
No.
Right? So oftentimes, guys, you'll be faithful to something and you'll get discouraged because you don't seem to see any of the results. Am I even making an impact? This doesn't seem, and you'll want to give up. And I want to encourage you, just hang on a little longer. Just before we give up. When we hang in there, something always happens to make us be like, oh my God, thank God I didn't quit. Thank God I didn't stop. I was so close. I almost threw in the towel so many times. Somehow I did it, and I'm so glad now, right? You all hang in there. It's so worth it. Wouldn't you say, Mike?
Absolutely.
Wouldn't you say, Josh?
100%.
My God,
100%.
Tattoo Guardians all over the world, we love you. We honor you. We love getting your message that this show is literally changing your life. All you apprentices, hopefully, this helped wake you up to what you're even doing. I hope you're not just biding your time. And if you want to know more, Mike says you can holler at him. Woo!
If you can spell my name correctly.
That's right. It's spelled just how it sounds. Mike Srnoyachki. Woo! Happy day, Tattoo Guardians all over the world. We love you. We speak blessings upon you. Joshua Carlton, I love you and everything you've done for our industry and are still doing. Talk about leaving tattooing better than when he found it. Mike, we honor you today. Nicole Carlton, we honor you today. Every guardian, every apprentice, we honor you. Thank you for your faithfulness, and we will see you all here next week.
Thank you.